We can count.
Hey, welcome everybody. It's ConCast, and it's time to cast the cons or some shit like that. I don't know.
You sound so energetic. Brent's like, why the hell did I tune in for this?
Oh,
I see.
You know what? I'm just along for the ride.
All right, I wanted to share it if we were live here, but welcome to ConCast episode. Who knows at this point?
This is season 2, episode 18. It should actually be up in the stuff that auto plays.
Boy, you took my ramblings as in I knew what I was talking
as
about.
Gospel. Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Yeah, we're up, and I see all three on the board.
Awesome. Well, Brent can't see me, I know, but
yeah, not sure why.
so I'm going to make faces at him the whole podcast. For those listening on the actual podcast, this will mean nothing to you, but for those that watch on YouTube, it'll be all right. To my left here, we got Cookie. Somewhere on your screen, we have Ash, and in one of the corners up there, we have Brent. And I've known you for years, Brent, but it is Krueger, right?
Yeah, just like it spells exactly like the monster.
Yeah. I assumed.
Yep.
I always assumed, but it's weird how you know somebody and you just never call them by their last name. Like, I don't even know if you ever called me by my real name.
Yeah, but in fairness,
it's so weird.
You know that all you know them by is their Red Fair names.
Yeah. That's what we're.
Yeah. I've exclusively known you as Beard, Little Beard. I don't think I've ever called you by your J name once.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's weird.
And it's okay. You can say the name. Everybody knows it at this point. But
I know. It's weird for me to say it. That's why I said it that way.
It's right. You'll be that as a performer. I'm sure you've had this too, where you'll know somebody, and then somebody else will come up while you're talking to patrons or other entertainers, and they'll call you by your real name, and they'll go like, "Who's Tim? What are you talking about? Where's this Tim?" And it's like, Tim's right here.
Yeah. For the first 5 years of life till I got to kindergarten, I thought my name was Jesus Christ, listening to Dad.
People don't realize, like when I was growing up, my dad had nicknames for all of us. My brother's nickname was Tiger, and my little sister's nickname was Princess, and his nickname for me was Shithead.
Yeah,
and literally. And so
I was holy shit, and I was Jesus Christ.
Yeah, don't let him lie. I was the other one.
Yeah,
so
you're the other one.
Brent over here. I'm probably pointing in the wrong directions, and it doesn't matter. It's a podcast.
Yep.
Brent and I have known each other for I want to say it feels like 4 years. I can't.
It's been longer than that. Honestly, it's been
everything up.
Yeah, pandemic got things weird. I want to say I really got started in 2017. I think 2017 was my first year. Yeah. No, 2018. 2018 for sure. No.
So Brent,
no pandemic things. Anyways,
I know. It's hard.
Pandemic. The reason it's called COVID-19. It was initially named in 2019, and we didn't go into shutdown until March of 2020. Not that I know any of this crap.
Well, what year is it? Oh my gosh! No, it's been. It wasn't. It was 2019. It was 2019.
God. See, and that's so
oh my
weird
gosh!
Because Brent's a member of Totally Lost. Among other things that we'll just hit that right off the board.
Sure.
When I met Brent, he had just joined up with Totally Lost, which is a pirate group we've talked about on here before.
Not true.
Not true?
No. When you met me, I joined Fishbones and Scurvy.
True. You are. Yep.
Yeah.
It was not yet Totally
Fishbones
Lost.
and Scurvy was the beginning. That was back when I was Smirnoff, before Fisk ever existed. Yep.
That is, I forgot because that name had changed, or that group had changed a couple times over time, and it has developed into what is now Totally Lost.
Yeah.
So we've done festivals together and stuff. When I talk about that next generation of performers, like we're all the old farts, and there were old farts before us, the Chris Allens that were around before us. This is that new generation. I don't know how many times I said that at the Pirate Festival earlier this year of These are the guys that are doing everything.
You mean the generation that actually has some talent?
Yeah, the ones coming up to make us to make it look like the old
I
ones.
wouldn't say that.
Well, there's a difference. Yes, this generation has talent. Our generation had audacity.
We had
Well,
balls, different. That's what we had.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, and
audacity.
Yeah.
it was a lot harder back in the day for you guys too, not just because
Oh yeah.
like you guys are old and like jokes like that, but like honestly, you had less sound systems, rent fairs were new. You guys had to figure out how to get yourselves paid and make everything fair for you guys. Um, yeah,
And
like you guys walked so we could run,
And I
honestly.
appreciate
back
that.
then,
Well,
being a geek was extremely frowned upon by
Yep.
society. Yeah,
Hmm.
so
not to blow our own horns, but we were the guys that went out there and
I
broke
can't
all the
reach it.
rules so that you guys knew you could. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying?
In fairness, I'll agree with you on that because I do remember even when we started, like a lot of the shit you did at the beginning. When you came back, then we're like, oh yeah, that shit don't fly no more at all. Like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
um,
Being the real drunk pirates, that doesn't float anymore. No.
but a great example would be like,
I remember times. This is just an example. Is there were times when people would come up and go like, "Oh man, Cookie is really embracing the whole drunken pirate thing. He's just laying out there like and pretending like he's drunk." And John would look over at us, and go, "Oh shit, somebody go get Cookie. He's passed out in the aisle again." And
yeah, what the example I was going to use, and to segue into something Brent does here is like when we recorded our one and only album, which was
oh
Adventure. You know, a lot of
yeah,
that's like,
we
hey,
should have called that
that's
Scallywags the Train Wreck.
yeah, we can plug a mic into a laptop, and we even had a studio for a while. And you guys, like right now, Brent has put together, and I don't want to throw out numbers because I know you've talked about some of the pricing that you put into this, but
No.
you put
Yeah.
together a very elaborate studio that you guys
Yep.
not only are recording your albums in, but you are helping other performers and stuff get their stuff put together. Because it's hard being a
Yeah.
performer on the Ren Fair circuit and being taken, like, put that stuff together and make it happen.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, and
And
I
like,
had many questions I wanted to ask about, what the parameters of your studio setup was, that
yeah,
way others would know, your capabilities and whatnot.
for sure. And that's the whole thing. I know that you guys had briefed me that we're talking about like nerd geeky stuff, and man, like audio engineering, that's what I've been geeking out over. Playing with analog gear, twisting knobs, hitting buttons. It's the best. So, any
Oh, it
questions you
is.
got, I'd love to answer.
Well, and see, this is where I was saying before the podcast, where I hope we're all on the same level because most people that know me know I'm not a musical guy, even
Yeah.
though we sing on stage.
I just had a moment too. I thought, man, are we smart enough to even ask this dude
No,
questions?
yes. Well,
You know what I'm saying?
this is why I like hanging out with people like this. A good example is like the stuff I do. I get up to tell fart jokes. So like this year, I am helping a lot with Big River, and
Mhm.
one of the things I'm helping with is the Saturday night concert. And I have no problem saying this publicly because I can definitely work with performers. I can get things set up, but musically, I don't know crap. So what did I do?
Mhm.
I called Jake. I said, I'm going to throw some of this in your guys' hands. I don't know if Jake's talked to you about this, but
If not, surprise.
Well, and I mean, here's the thing. We've gotten to a point with how we run things that we've we've had people say that they've had sound systems and then think they were DJs. I won't name names or events. But so because we brought our own sound system in our van, we were able to perform. Um, so like I always come prepared with our sound system. It's just I'm our sound guy as well as our studio engineer. I am lucky enough to have other people help me out. Brandon Cheney, huge shout out to him. He's the reason why I was able to actually start my career in music too. So,
So,
but he helps with the engineering as well.
so are you capable of both in-house studio recording as well as mobile recording?
Not only that, but I could also facilitate live sound. So, as
Oh,
an
nice.
example, I could set up in a way where I'll plug our show this weekend at Four Brothers Mead in Festus, Missouri. I could record Three Pints Gone while they're doing their live set and then send it to them on an SD card. As well, same for us, we could make merch out of it immediately. So we made sure that we set up the studio to be pretty extensive, mobile, and
Oh, hold
modular.
on.
So
Hold
cool.
on, you just piqued my interest there. You said you could
Yeah.
make merch pretty much
Yep.
immediately. What do you mean? What is your merchandising? Are we making flamethrowers? Is it Spaceballs the flamethrowers? Because that's what I want.
No, 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 no. So I mean, uh, as a musical act, one of the easiest ways for us to get merch is through music, through different releases, and obviously since we're in a digital age, CD sales age. CD sales is where it's at, for us to make our money.
Mm-hmm.
And so all of that gets to go back into funding, um, making bigger projects and funding cooler things. Like we've got some crazy stuff in the works. We've been able to acquire some awesome equipment, all because people have been able to support us and buy that stuff. So yeah, we can just record, if we've got an SD card or if we've got access to a laptop, we can pretty much record our entire live set, and we could have it all multi-tracked out, so it's not one big conglomeration that we're editing. It's
Right.
each individual thing.
Yeah,
So
that's a must. That's like also on this that we're using. Every person who calls in on this is a different track. So when I go in later on and do the editing, I can isolate everything out. But
yep.
that being said, um, one of my questions would be on a technical aspect. Is there any upper limit to like the number of different instruments or individuals that you can have mic'd up per track? I mean, are you working with like a full 20 mic suite that you can get everybody, or is it everybody crowd around the one Yeti mic? What are you doing?
So, well, so there's a few ways on how I like to do things. Everything kind of depends on the band and the jive. Uh, Obviously, I can't fit a 50-piece orchestra in my living room. I operate out of my house, um, you know. But with how we have things set up, my drums are an electric drum kit, so the drums are real. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we sample drums just to make things easier to save time. But I'm also the songwriter for our band too, so
Mm-hmm.
there's a spoiler. I don't actually drum a whole lot on the album. I actually play other instruments. But so the
That's why
drums are
people
plugged
like
in
to piss me
directly.
off, Brent. Just saying. You guys are all like, "Oh yeah, I do this one thing way better than you, but all these other things too." But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, but it's fine because I have more of an imposter syndrome than you.
We'll have that discussion later, you and I.
But no, so how I set up my recordings is most of the things can be set up directly, so I'm not miking a whole lot of things, and then I'll get a scratch track with whatever mic is available with the vocalist, and then we can go in and individually record things on top of it, so we can get the feel of the original recording, and if that's the final take, then that's the final take. We can also go in and really dial in everything and make it a unique thing. So
Now that's in the studio aspect. How about
yeah,
when you're doing on the portable
when
side?
I'm out and
Oh, and
about,
that's another question as well. Uh,
yeah.
are are you are you um, what is it tied to power lines, or are you able to go full rogue and battery this thing up?
Oh man,
So I power the entire totally lost unit off
Yeah.
of one power cable.
there you
Oh,
go.
most excellent.
110.
I spent about 6 months designing the rig. It mostly was because I was learning, because I had no
Mm-hmm.
idea what I was doing going into it. I had a wonderful person helping me out at Sweetwater. I don't remember his name, but
I love
Adam is my
Sweetwater.
guy currently. Sweetwater is fantastic. Like I'm not sponsored by them. I want to be someday. My goal is to be more content creator forward, and I've got
Yeah.
some ideas on what I want to do, but because I quit my day job, so
Which I
I'm just
definitely
Yeah.
doing
want
music
to
full
touch
time
on
now.
that. Yeah, I definitely
Yeah.
want to touch on that because I
Oh, for sure, for sure.
I got all sorts of questions and stuff I think would help some of the people that watch the podcast. But
Yeah, for sure.
real quick, you did
Um,
say you guys have a show this weekend, right?
yeah,
With
it's at Four Brothers. We perform there a lot with
did
Three
you?
Four
Pints.
Yeah,
Brothers Mead, he said.
yeah.
Yes, it's a meadery out in Festus. Also, they've got a bunch of other small
It's
businesses
it's
in
our
the area too.
competition, so we should stop saying their name,
No,
John.
no, no.
Okay.
They're good. They're good people.
Oh, w-
They're he's kidding.
I'm messing around.
we're
Did
not
you
in
say
a.
three pints are going to be there with
We're
you
in
though? Or
different states.
did you say three pints are going to be with you there this weekend?
Yeah, they're opening, or I mean, I
Oh,
don't know how it was decided. I don't do the booking. I just do the
yeah.
music. I got one
I show
job.
up and go where they point. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that'd be a good show. I always love Three Pints, love you guys, and even now it segued me into opening my beer on the channel. And I'm only saying I'm opening this because this is the beer Bill brings me every year. So this is actually from it's a for those listening, it's angry Spod Cow, damn it, that Bill brings all the time. But are you guys doing? You're not going to do an album with Three Pints, are you?
I don't know what plans are for albums. We've just been kind of recording whatever comes out. I've got an experiment going for bringing crowds over. So legally, there's some songs that we can and can't play over loudspeakers in different environments based off of contracts. So we've been
Okay.
recording pirate EDM. Uh, are we allowed to hold on before I say anything else? Are we allowed to cuss?
Yes, we can cuss.
Fuck
Yeah,
no.
yeah, but
Okay, so it's a song. It's called Pirate Shit.
but
And the only lyrics is me overly auto-tuned singing, "Yeah, we're pirates on a pirate ship doing pirate shit 'cause we're pirates." And then there's a massive sax solo from Not the Navigator, who's
Oh
our
my God.
saxophone player. Which, in case anybody needs to know, the saxophone is definitely a Renaissance fair instrument.
it
Just so
is.
we're clear. Just so we're clear. Yeah.
I feel like you
I don't
have
want
a
to get
story
fired. That's it.
behind this or a reason
No, we
to.
just don't want to get fired because
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
it's definitely a Renaissance fair instrument.
Okay,
It's
yeah,
definitely a
yeah,
Renaissance
yeah. I
instrument.
remember seeing pictures of it right next to the
Yeah.
hurdy-gurdy. So yeah, you're good to go.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep. Yep.
yeah.
We used to have that problem all the time, like back in the day, of course, because we had. This is back in the day
When they were
where
made of
if you
stone.
went into- yeah, you had to fight off the dinosaurs to get into the dragons. But like you'd have to have wood posts on your tent just to even show up. A pop
Yeah.
up wouldn't be allowed, kind of thing.
Oh yeah, yeah. The period Nazis.
Yeah, when we wrote that Star
Hmm.
Wars pirate show, we were getting rejected by festivals because we had Star Wars in our show. And
Yeah.
but we learned if we don't say shit and just do it, and if they
Yeah.
ask, you go, yeah, everything's period, we're good, and you ask for forgiveness, we'd never get kicked out of a fair or anything for having unperiod shit. But boy, if you
Well,
say
you know,
it, it'll be an issue.
you could always point out that you originally got the idea from what do they call it when things out in the public domain? The original idea was in
Hmm.
public domain, and George Lucas stole it.
Yeah, technically, I mean that
Technically,
Yep.
it's really just a copy of Seven Samurai. But
Yeah,
that's kind of what we did with the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
It was we found out that
Yeah.
George Lucas stole the idea and it was called Bar Wars and blah blah blah.
Yep.
But we didn't keep all that because it was a mouthful of bullshit. But I felt like I
Oh.
take over. I didn't want to take over. But I do have stuff to ask though. Were you done with what you're saying, Ash?
I was also going to ask just on a side note, just for pure curiosity on my part.
Yeah.
Um, what channels are you using for to release into? Are you doing like Spotify? What are you doing for your releases for your entertainers?
All platforms. All platforms. We
Okay.
are on Spotify, YouTube, Pandora. If we're not on there yet, let us know. You can. I don't think you can digitally purchase. I think we just kind of skip that, but we do have a website available. I can get that from Nikki and get that to you guys in post or whatever, but you can get some of our merch there too. So might as well plug it while we're there.
Yeah. If you send us any links, we'll throw them up on the site and see if it because
Yeah.
it'd be nice to have. And of course, fans in this area will get to see you guys later this
Yeah.
year because in
Mhm.
fall you're coming down for Great Plains Ren Fair for the smoker and stuff there, which it looks like that's all. I've been talking to Richard, and it looks like we're getting lined up with that. So
Sweet.
I don't think you've never been to Wichita, have you, Brent?
I've not. I've
You
not.
have not.
Oh, you
It's-
have
it's-
not lost a bet. Very good.
Well, at least not to the Ren Fair. Like I think I've been to the area before, like in my childhood, but
It's a
I
smaller
don't know what
fair,
you're
but it's packed full of people. We always have crowds, and it's fun. And then at the smoker, of course, they just let us run that, so we just get to do whatever we want to do, and that's always a good time. That's one reason we've had Jake and Steven down there before. Heck, they even recorded a song down there one time for
yeah.
a Rum Runners album. But that was probably the best of my singing ability if you've heard that one. But
Yeah, so I have all the old albums, And fun fact, we found the old recording box that Jake used for all the stuff,
Right.
and we're gonna go through some old stuff and see what all we can find, and we might be able to do some remasters in the studio with all the gear. So,
Oh, that'd be cool.
um, yeah, so
Um,
interesting things.
so as far as I feel like I should have just started with, I know I talked about like when we met and stuff, but I kind of want to hit on a lot of people always ask us about like, oh, hey, I want to do what you guys are doing. How do I get in the industry? How do I do these things? It's different for
Yeah.
every person. It's different for every
hmm
region. And here's like, you're a good example of, I've watched your journey a bit. And like you'd said before we started on here that you are looking at expanding full time because not all of the
hmm
performers and stuff get to do this full time. Um,
Yep.
I want to talk about your journey a little bit because there's other people wanting
Sure.
to do that same sort of thing and it might help them
hmm
roll in or even be able to get a hold of you for advice on like getting an
Yeah.
album recorded or who to hook up with.
Sure.
So I could just throw that in your lap, but
hmm
I feel like I want to say it from my point of view. You
Yeah.
are a nerd, right?
Oh,
And
straight up nerd.
What do you
and
mean were? I mean,
it still
we all
is, still
still,
is.
yeah.
Because you're
Yeah.
already doing like boffer stuff. You were doing
Yeah. hmm
all sorts of stuff. And
Magic the
you,
Gathering.
yes, yeah, and you and
Yep.
Jake are in the same combat troop or something. Is that correct?
Yeah, we both play Amp Guard. It's the LARP.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard to call that game a LARP. Like, uh, it's very we call it wacky bats because it's less about the role playing perspective, like there's spells and stuff, but it's definitely like there's the stick jocks who are like, yeah, we're here for sport and we're gonna be really good and fight people, and all the nerds are like, cool, we're gonna yell spells at you, get fucked nerds, like, and like,
Those
and so
are
like it's a fun balance.
terminology I don't know, like
there's
stick
Yeah,
jockeys and shit.
yeah, there's
yeah,
no room too small for Fireball. Go ahead.
yeah. We both got knighted in the same game, which it's more difficult than it seems. Like I know that's the both of us, but I think that the fact that we were able to get that achievement shows like why we've been able to grow this group into what we have. So it's a
I saw
it's
your guys' knightings online. It was definitely very much looked like an event. It didn't look
yeah.
like anything like, oh yeah, I got knighted on Tuesday. Like it was nothing. Like it was an event, an honor kind of thing.
It took me 5 years, and that's speed running it.
Wow.
So it's a commitment. It's a commitment, and it's a fun game. There's chapters everywhere across the U.S. You can get involved in your local chapter, but yeah, it's awesome. It's
So
it's honestly why I was able to start, getting deeper into music, and it's why I started learning some of the older songs, and it's where "Step It Out, Mary," one of the biggest songs or one of the bigger songs that we do, comes from, is from just BSing and learning that.
you're already doing music though before you and Jake hooked up and started doing Rum Runners, right?
Oh yeah, so
Fish on the
uh,
Strip, sorry.
yeah. So we've been doing music 16 years now.
You two together?
I was yes.
Oh,
So
look at you.
I was a sophomore and he was a super senior.
A super
So
senior.
yeah.
Does that mean he
So
gets a special at Denny's? No, that's not what that means.
no, we don't talk about Denny's. Denny's is a cursed place, and it's nothing against Denny's the store. But every time that we go to a Denny's, everybody gets their food besides Jake. His always gets messed up, so we just don't go to Denny's anymore. It's
Oh,
it's cursed in like there's nothing wrong with the franchise. Like I'm not no hate, but 'cause but man,
thank you for
it's
mentioning that because I know
consistently, and it's only him.
now
What was
every
that?
time you mention about going to eat, that's the first place I'm going to mention every time. So
What was that that I heard one time? The difference between IHOP and Denny's is IHOP is where you go for a kid's birthday, and Denny's is where you go to hire a hitman.
I don't know. Blink 182 played there, so Denny's
at
knows what's
Denny's,
up.
wait,
Yeah, there's a whole meme about it. If you YouTube search "what the fuck is up, Denny's," there was a meme that happened, and this band just yelled that at a diner. I don't know if it was Denny's or not, and then Blink 182 recreated it. It's a whole thing.
Okay.
I learn stuff all the time, man. We did a podcast 2 weeks ago at the convention, and I'm
hmm
sitting there in the room, and everybody looks at me and says something about the Hoktui girl. I had not heard it. I hadn't heard, but
Yeah.
the audience all knew. The other hosts knew, so I was the butt of the joke for a while. But since then, I've become infatuated. So
Yeah, I'm our dedicated meme guy. So like I'll scroll on TikTok, look for memes, look for trends. I'll send them to Nikki, who's our marketing coordinator, and like we roll off of each other and get stuff done.
yeah, marketing
I just
coordinator.
watch memes and
I
make them
was just
happen.
thinking that. I was like, what the fuck?
I'm trying to do that. I found out just Mac was over here just beforehand. I turned over the our Facebook and stuff and social media to him not long ago, and he just came over and showed me on the phone the money we're making on social media, and I was like, well, fuck, I haven't made money on social media in 10 years. That's kind of fucking nice. That's what
You
happens.
guys are making money on social media?
Yeah, yeah. Chris has done
You
real
guys
well
get
with
paid?
our. Yeah.
Excellent.
Not
I am
much.
proud of you. Very good.
Now, back in the heavy pork days, we were doing really good, but that's because we were having celebrities all the time, and that was,
Oh yeah.
so we
Yeah,
were,
I still remember that strip club, but go ahead.
yeah. Taya Parker could have probably bought us all new equipment if we wanted it, like all new sound equipment. Yeah, she made us a little money, but
Yep.
so Brent, so you and Jake hooked
Yeah.
up. Then now I know Jake was in, what was Rum Runners, and it became Fishbones and Scurvy, which eventually totally lost. To me,
Yep.
the transition happened when you joined Fishbones and Scurvy, and you two are what ended up going on and becoming the Lost, totally Lost.
Totally
Um,
lost, yeah.
what did it take
Gilly
to
and the
talk to
Lost
you?
Boys, depending on who you ask.
Was that something that you were looking to do, or is that something he talked you into doing?
Well, it was kind of an interesting thing, sort of similar with Jake. It started with AmpGuard. We already had that music connection from forever ago. I had joined for like not connected to Jake. I had joined AmpGuard. I started because I did archery attack on my birthday one year, and my friend, D I call him Durka. I had to stutter for a second. His real name's Derek, but I never call him that. His game name's Durka. Everybody calls him Durka. But
The
anyways, he was like, "Hey, if you want to do
Team
that, you
America?
can." Yeah. He's like, if you want to do that, you can shoot people with arrows every weekend on Sundays. And I'm like, I'm in. And that's why I started playing. And then found out that Jake played it too. Found out that you could do stuff with music, and so I just played a bunch of music as I got better at as I got up their award system. I started learning more of the Renaissance and period songs. Jake started doing Ren fairs more, and honestly, my first intro to Ren fairs, my friend Dan Eichling introduced me to the St. Louis Renaissance Festival because I'm from the St. Louis area, and I saw the Rum Runners playing out of nowhere. I didn't know. Apparently, it was a stage. I didn't know it was back then. I found the lore out from Paul later, but I watched the Rum Runners, fell in love. I was like, I got to do that. I got to do that.
Oh, so
I
it was
don't know
back when
how, but
Paul
someday I
was in
got
the
to do
group.
that.
Holy shit!
Yeah, so it was back when it was the original three for the Rum Runners.
Oh wow!
Yep. So that inspired me way back in the day, and now come to find out, I'm like from the remnants of the Rum Runners,
Yeah,
and
that's
it's
pretty
just
cool.
it is, yeah. So I tell everybody that Paul Krueger is the reason why Totally Lost exists, and
Yeah, I could see
so
that. I got a huge. Matter of fact, Paul was one of the things I really when he came back with the rockabilly band that they're doing. I
oh
was like,
yeah,
man,
Man,
yeah,
they kicked ass.
they're going to
I got
be
to track their album.
yeah, they're. Oh, you did? I figured.
Yeah, yep,
I've got the album. That's one of the albums I got this when I was up there this year.
yeah,
Um, they're going to be at Big River this year as well, doing that concert. So I'm excited about that. I really regret though because we did St. Louis for almost 20 years, and then Paul and them come back. You guys are there now, and it's like, oh, there's all these people I would love to go perform with, and we're not there anymore, and it really sucks because there's always people you like hanging like Three Pints. I love hanging with Three Pints,
yeah,
Oh yeah.
and
yeah,
but the more we can get together and do other shit, it would be nice because like at Hannibal,
yeah,
you can always get that opportunity.
yeah,
But
and I love the fact. Yeah, as soon as I heard that Rockabilly was on over in Hannibal, I was stoked because like they're such a fun group, and just the energy that they bring. They do the thing that I super enjoy a lot, which is taking the classics from Ren Fair, like the the songs that brought us to our interest, tweaking them, making them our own, and making it live on. That's what folk's all about, and that's really what the Ren Fair is to me. Is just
Mm.
And
folky
it kind of
nerds.
bridges the gap between normal people and super nerds like us.
Yeah,
When you
exactly.
tweak them and make them your own a little, it brings more people into the fold.
Even playing field. Yep.
Yep.
Well, and people like Paul and Colin and Steven that were the original rum runners, and you guys, it's that welcoming atmosphere. And when for those that look into getting into Ren Fair and stuff,
Mhm.
those are groups you always want to look for because they're the ones that are going to help you. I mean, I know I had it when I was young. Like one reason I praise Bill a lot in Three Pints. There's times I considered stopping, and he's like, "Oh no, if you guys just did this, and and then give you advice and help you even on stage sometimes, so you don't feel alone." That kind of stuff really, really does help.
Well,
Well, yeah.
taken
And
from a different point of view, that means you could blame Bill. But go
uh,
ahead.
a lot of shit, dude. Yeah,
Well,
anytime I'm
no,
on
and
stage, I can talk bad on him. I will.
for
You
But
were
me,
saying,
like,
Brent?
You gotta
yeah.
love
So like that
you know.
that mentorship is really important because I still remember, and the only reason why I corrected you on when we met was because the first weekend that we met when I was smeared off, I was doing the whole thing. It was when the awful storms at the Iowa Fair happened.
yes, yeah,
It was the most
for that
chaotic
weekend,
weekend.
that's where I remember you from my first. Yeah,
That rad was my first fair ever. That was, or at least performing. That was my first time performing in front of that many people. Whenever we did lunch and everybody was sitting with other people, you invited me to sit with you, and I just asked questions, and like you were unapologetically answering them, and like that got me stoked, and that really showed me how to treat other people, and like we want to keep bringing that love and sending that energy out because eventually we're gonna not be able to do it, and we're gonna have somebody take over. And we're setting up some we're walking in some pretty big shoes, like
yeah.
musical blades, and
Well, and
they've given us a blessing.
yeah, we actually were having a talk about Blades earlier about when they first started
Mhm.
touring around and stuff, and like they
Yeah.
would come to our fair uh, back in the day, especially the when Pirates of the Caribbean first came out, uh,
Mhm.
and all of a sudden we had 8 million pirate groups all over. Before that there were like eight, and then there were 8 million, and you'd get pirate groups come to your fair, and they'd go, "Okay, who's
Mhm.
the established pirate group?" They see you, and they go, "We're automatically enemies." Like we're automatic, like we're trying to
Right.
take your gig. And so what we would always do is go like, "Hey, come on stage, come play with us, let's do this."
Yeah.
And Blades was one of those groups where we were all just friends and hung out,
Hmm.
and really I've told the story a million times where we would have every reason to think we were ripping off each other's shit back in the beginning. Like every reason
Hmm.
in the world to think that. But instead we were like, let's just get together and have fun and play. And then hell, they're retired now, and I'm nothing but sad to see them go.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's one of those things, if everybody can just get together and click, and that's one of the things that really helps getting this going. Um,
Yeah.
Now when you started,
Hmm.
that weekend that you're referring to, we were at Rad, and for those to
Hmm.
put in some context, it was almost like a tornado came through. So for his first show, I mean, tents were like flying off, and we're all holding them down, trying to keep them up. We put everybody under one giant pavilion to stay safe, and then
It's
now you have an entire festival under a pavilion. So we just started entertaining for them for like
Captive audience.
and that entire festival, by the way, is all lewd with a bunch of cussing and everything else, which is funny for my next fair because while that was going on, I was in the tail end of recording the Dirty album for Fishbones and Scurvy.
Mhm.
So, and like that was before I was doing recording, but I was just a part of that towards the end. And so it was all cussing all the time. Then a big tornado happened, and then I was told, "Oh, hey, you can't like cuss that much all the time." And I'm like, "Well, why the hell am I here?
This is not normal.
What's going on?
It's
What's
like
the
you coming
real
back.
Ren Fair
Don't do
experience?"
that.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah.
Now we've had the Ren Fair where there's always somebody who comes up to you with this air of authority and importance, who is always saying, "No, you can't do these things. No, it's
Mhm.
not right. Nobody will like it." And then you find out that that individual was just one person who had the audacity to come up, and everybody else wants you to do what you're good at. And
Yep.
if you just ignore that person, everybody else is going to have a good time. You can't make everybody happy, but sometimes you can piss off somebody, and that makes me happy.
Yeah.
So that's the
Amen, brother.
important thing.
So Brent,
Yeah.
when you started, now I know when we started, there was a lot of initiation shit we had to go through, not just from each other, but like
We had the
You-
SCA rules lawyers coming up
Yeah.
to us all the time.
I was gonna say you told me you'd never tell anybody what I had to do.
No,
We dig them up every now and then.
to give you some examples, like we always had the whipped cream in the porta potty shit that we'd
Oh,
have to do.
boy.
Like somebody being in porta potty and you put a manila envelope in there and just spray them with whipped cream. Like
Oh gosh.
go to the hotel of the other performers and piss in their iron. So when they go to iron their stuff, it smells like piss. Did you ever
Oh my
have to deal with
God.
this stuff? Did you get your initiations?
So this,
Because if
I
not, we have
guess
a list
if
we want to do to you. So
okay. No, but the weirdest my first weekend doing Ren Fair, it was I think it was Naughty Bits was there, and I had never met them before. Jake knew who they were, and so like Jake had gone downstairs to get breakfast and told Naughty Bits, "Hey, Brent's not up yet. You should go wake him up. I know you haven't met him yet, but like let's." And so like gave them the key to my door, and I just hear these two girls going, like that's my introduction to waking up to Ren Fair, and I'm like, what on God's green earth did I sign up for? Why the fuck am I in Iowa? And who are these people? And that's the most of it.
Oh, in
Like,
fairness, you get the attractive girls from Naughty Bits giggling outside your door. I would have got somebody looking like this, breathing over me in the top of my bed, going, "You awake, buddy?"
hey, I'm just saying, the world sends to you what you attract. So,
Yeah. Oh, I see.
Is that the case? Wow.
I don't know, man.
When
I,
Cincy got
I never trust a passel of females being devious. That always leads to trouble.
listen, the
Since I
Fae
got
is
brought up-
always in trouble. That's the problem. The Fae is dangerous,
Oh yeah.
I do need to bring
and that's why we trinket trade.
Pimp that Naughty Bits that we were talking about, which is kind of a pirate circus act in a way. They do anything from fire breathing to trapeze kind of stuff to comedy to all sorts of stuff. They
Fantastic.
also will be at Big River's 10th anniversary with us and Totally Lost this year.
I didn't even know that. That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
genuine excitement.
That actually got set up because
He likes Naughty Bit.
he does, yeah. Because you guys
Yeah.
put Michael and I
What happened when they woke you up?
at
No, it's just that was
Your last
well,
time
no,
they were-
no, they're
No,
they're my family. It's like
Oh,
the
yeah,
Scallywags too.
yeah, they're great. That got set
But
up
also-
because of the show you guys did, the Gateway Pirate Festival. You'd put me and Michael on stage together, and Michael really bailed my ass on that one. He was great, and I was like, man, I'd love to get you guys, but I know there's no way you're available on a 3-day weekend like that, and they just happened to be this year, so we got it all set
Oh
up.
hell yeah!
So they'll be, I think they're going to be up on Main Street at the far end over by the where we do the inside shows. It sounds like, but they'll be stationary all weekend, so we'll be able to hang with them. And I think Michael's going to come do something at the Smoker or something with us. So
He's a hell of a
Sweet.
festival.
Yeah.
He really is.
yeah, it's anyhow. Yeah, anything I can do to pimp those shows we're at, I'm going to jump in and do them. I do want to get back into your recording and where you're going with this stuff. I wanted to hit
Yeah.
where with the geekiness and stuff. We've already talked about your Amp Guard stuff, Ren Fair stuff.
Mhm.
You said Magic the Gathering. For the con
Yeah.
community, is there shit you're into? Like Daryl's got a big Star Trek fetish for some reason. I like cool shit like Ghostbusters. Do you got that vibe? Do you got something that you're just like Pokemon's my shit? Or
So I like original Pokemon. It's like I played the Pokemon TCG for a bit. I played the games, but I was never the guy. Like it was always the attack moves. Like I was always the mash A win game kind of guy. I like going to cons. We have Anime STL in my area, and I've got some friends that are into that kind of stuff. I've got some I like to go to cons when I can, but typically with my new setup, I've been keeping things as tight as possible. So I'm now at a spot where I'm starting to expand and be able to visit and explore different cons. So I'm looking to do that a lot more in general, because I've not had time to build fandoms besides like the original Pokemon. Like why did the first movie have to be so sad? You know?
God, that was so
because
long.
they
I remember
were
the first movie.
they were more interested in telling a good story than having repeatability and farming it for money.
Now, I don't know if
Yeah,
you
but
would have heard the bitterness in Ash's voice as he was saying that, but I definitely heard it.
I've never seen it. I'm just making an educated guess.
yeah,
Yes,
Uh,
the
my problem
bitterness
is my
remains.
traumas from my childhood starts with Mufasa dying, and then it's
Oh, God.
followed by I think Ash dies.
Spoilers!
Say it again. Say it again. Mufasa.
It's the
Mufasa, Mufasa,
90s.
Mufasa.
Is that like
God.
Beetlejuice? What?
Yeah,
Oh, I can't wait till that comes.
uh,
Yeah,
I think that's supposed to be September for Beetlejuice.
That'll be awesome.
awesome. Yeah.
so Pokemon might be the close. See, and that's the thing, because the first con I saw
Mhm.
I met Jake at, was a convention. First time I'd met him.
Mhm.
And I hadn't really seen you guys do conventions since, because that was Planet Comic Con, and we stopped performing that show a couple of years ago. And I was wondering if you guys do cons at all or get out and
Well, we got
work.
invited to Colossal Con. The Blades had a show, but they were winding down, so they forwarded our information to them, and we ended up getting the gigs. And that was a lot of fun. So like I love playing cons. I love going to them. It's always a good time. And also the water slides were fun too.
They have water slides at Colossal Con?
Yeah, they had it at Sandusky. I forgot the big water resort there,
Okay.
but
Feel like
they have it there.
Cool
Yeah,
beans.
and so we were able to get we were able to finagle our way to getting next day tickets to the water park. So it included a hot tub. So call it a
Well,
win.
it seems like you guys are doing quite a bit of shows lately. How many you guys doing? Or
Honestly,
roughly?
this year we've kept it pretty tame. So we've not been working on too many shows in general. Uh, as a band, we've been talking, and we're looking to try to do more bigger production things and less shows overall. That includes stuff like traveling more to bigger events, and like obviously we're going to do the classics that everybody knows and loves that we do. Obviously,
St.
Beard,
Louis,
anytime that you invite us
Midwest.
to a show, if we're able to. Well, we're going to try to do St. Louis. St. Louis usually takes a little bit to get us contracted, and we've got some other shows booked because this is the year that we had Iowa, and so we'll see how many days we end up getting to be at St. Louis, but if we can, we'll be there. And then, yeah, I know that we've talked about wanting to go to. Oh, I'm so bad. I love this. I want to go to this fair so bad. It's Oklahoma. Um, what's the name of it? Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
Castle
What?
Muskogee? Castle Muskogee?
Muskogee.
Muskogee?
Muskogee.
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah, yeah, yes, yes. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
We
I
want to
love the
perform
fair.
in
I want to go to
Austin.
it so bad. Yeah. I know Jake and Dom from our group went to Kentucky. We've been talking with Pirates Creed a lot. We're really good friends with them, and they've kind of been taking us under their wing with some other fairs in the East Coast. So we're hoping to travel a lot more. We're looking to try to talk to Florida, but a lot of it's just figuring out where we can get booked. And also, we're wanting to work on music videos too. So we'd rather do bigger productions and bigger shows, and still do the local thing when we can and work on getting to a point to where, we can have YouTube content regularly, maybe start a Patreon and just do this full time.
Out of all the shows you've ever done, what was your favorite performance you've ever done?
Ren fairs or ever?
I know that's a tough question.
I think that Midwest Pirate Fest was awesome.
Well, yeah, that was
Yeah.
Gateway Pirate
that's
Fest.
where I found out Brent can fucking sing. I knew he could sing, but
So
that
here's
one,
Gateway Pirate Fest always feels good. The second one felt really special to me because so that was when we released Siren's
because I
Call.
was there. That's what it was.
Oh, of course, of course.
Yeah.
Well, no. So honestly, that's part of it, though. For me, like, Ren Fair has been such a journey getting to where we're at. Starting by being inspired by people who are opening for us. The Blades, Pictus,
No,
Three Pines, everybody who I watched growing up in Ren Fairs was at that show, and then the fall like we get to close the night out releasing an album that is very, very near and dear to my heart. It's like the story of essentially me choosing between love and music. It's a whole concept album. It's the Siren's Call on Spotify now, blah blah blah. but
don't
but
blah
no,
blah
it's
blah.
it's
That's
just
info shit, dude.
Yeah,
blah blah
yeah,
blah
pimp it.
shit. I'll pimp it in a second, but genuinely, and like the place is full. All of my friends are there. People who I aspired and to be and looked up towards were all cheering me on. And it's um, seeing the comments of, the Blades passing the torch on to us and just like really vouching for us, seeing all the love and support that we get, and just our authenticity and our ethic and our work ethic just shows how passionate we are for what we want to do, and how much we want to grow and how much we want to show how awesome the Ren Fair community is. It's
Yeah.
a beautiful place, and it just deserves to be shown off.
So here's another question. Well, because I was there at that show. It was a great show, 2 days of a great show. Did
Hmm.
After seeing all these other people open up, all these people who you looked up to going before
Hmm.
you, and then you guys closing it out, did it feel like you've arrived?
But before you say that, because I want to add to that too.
Okay.
Because I was there, and
Okay. Okay.
I love you guys. I knew all but one band there, and I won't lie. I stood there. I watched the Blades go up, and the Blades, of course, they're great. They rocked it.
Oh yeah.
And
Seven Bridges Road was awesome.
Always do. Always do.
I genuinely went, man. I looked at you, I think, and I said, I love everybody here, and I love. And Lost has to follow those guys. They have to follow the Blades after they fucking. And I felt bad, like it's gonna be tough. When you guys got up there and you fucking knocked it out of the.
Yeah.
I was like,
totally.
It was really fucking impressive.
That's what I was going to say. From our point of view, it looked like you guys. I mean, you were it. You were the guys.
Yeah.
I mean, it was awesome.
So adding that, just letting you know from the audience point of view, it was from an audience point of view that knew you guys and knew the Blades. It was an impressive thing to watch.
Right.
So that's not us sucking you off. That's a pat on the back.
No, for sure. And here's the crazy thing. The only reason why I was prepared for that was because the Pirate Fest before that, the Blades closed. We set up for the Blades, and the Blades after that show said a lot of people left. This is your guys' show. Have more confidence in yourself. Do the thing. And that's how we knew. And we talked with them. They wanted to do it again. We set up the show so that we could close out the show, and then we could really send the Blades off with honor and respect. We made sure that we set up our show to where, because usually we like to close out with "Steppin' Out Mary." It's a high energy song, but we ultimately decided that we don't want to do that. We want to we wanted to humble ourselves and do our song where it's time to go home, and then we send it off with the Blades and give them the respectful ending that they deserve. Because not only do they deserve it, but oh my God, like what a way to end a night! What a way to end a legacy! What a way to end!
It was
oh my gosh!
One of those things that I watched. I remember we were in the audience. I'm watching it, and everybody was doing like let's get up on stage and everybody together at the end thing. And I was. It's one of those things I could have easily walked up there and do what I normally do and mouth watermelon and pretend I'm singing with everybody. But I was so infatuated with watching it all go down. Like the whole passing of the torch thing was so well done that you guys were already into the song by the time we went, oh, fuck, we should probably go. Damn it, now we're just going to watch. But it was, it went so nice.
Smoothly.
Which your original question was, how intimidating that.
Yeah, but did you finally feel to the point of, man, I'm not faking it no more. This isn't something I hope to do. I'm fucking doing it.
Yeah.
It was the first time ever that I was like, yep, I belong. Well, no, second time ever that I was like, yep, I belong. And it was, I guess it was less I belong, and it was more, yep, I've earned this. This is mine. Congratulations. And the only reason why I felt so confident saying that, because I've got my own issues where like I have the self-confidence issues. I'm in my head all the time. But ultimately it was, if I were to deny that, right? If I were to say, I don't know if I've earned it, then every single person who I've been inspired by would just not respect me as much. I can't have this many people telling me that we're this good and it not be true. Like that many people aren't gaslighting me. Like Ashton Kutcher's not going to come out, like it just took a real come to Jesus moment. And it's like, like
the way Ashton Kutcher's not what I missed there.
Gaslighting. It's not a punk show.
Yeah, I'm getting punked.
He was not being punked. Yeah.
I'm not being punked. I'm not being, I'm not gaslighting myself. I'm not like, no, this is the real deal. Like, so it's cool, especially whenever you're an introverted guy who like just wants to try to make music and make the world a little bit better.
And I know you even mentioned it briefly earlier, the idea of when you're getting into this stuff, even for people who've been in it for a long time or people new getting into it, that imposter syndrome thing, it really
Yeah.
kicks
Mhm.
your ass a lot.
Yeah.
Like, so
And
even
it
though,
still
even though
does.
I'm sitting here talking about how impressed I am with your whole group, really, it's not watching that happen and going, that's great. And I know that like I can get on stage with these guys and do stuff, and we do very different stuff. There is always that little bit of like even you guys saying getting on stage with the Blades or somebody that's been doing it longer, that they've already fine tuned. They're good with each other. They're connecting.
Hmm.
It always makes you feel like you don't belong. Like,
Yeah,
Oh
but
yeah.
everybody
Yeah.
there at that thing, they had a synergy. They
Yeah.
were all meshing up.
well, that's
I
why
mean,
getting friends
Mhm.
together
Yeah.
like that is great. Even
Yeah.
even like me getting on stage with Michael from Naughty Bits, that show, we had done shows together for a few years. Him and I,
Hmm.
the only time we were on stage together was at a smoker where I get up and do my bit, and then he gets up and does his bit. We'd never done anything together.
yeah, but you and
And
him
then
worked
And
well.
introduce each other, and
Pulled off
yeah.
well.
But that also helped because not only were him and I at least friendly, he's good
Mhm.
friends with, like, let's say Totally Lost. I'm good friends, and when you're all in that same clique, you feel like, oh, we're definitely on the same mindset. Like it helps a lot because you go like, oh, they perform with this person all the time, so therefore
Mhm.
I'm going to be able to perform with them,
Right.
and it just works out. It's that acceptance thing we were talking earlier. Um, I know we want to get on. We're probably going to hit a geekgasm. I want to talk about events you guys to promote your stuff coming up. As
Yep.
far as you going though,
Hmm.
I don't even know what you've been doing for a living for these last couple of years. I know you as Brent from Totally Lost,
Yep.
and the recording stuff, but it looks like you're moving on. Talk about what you're
Yes.
doing now and where you're looking at going.
Real sweet.
Well, so it's if I had to guess on titles, I'm still writing a lot of music for Totally Lost. So I'm still doing that. I'm writing pop music with my friend Brandon. We're just writing as much music as possible. Some stuff we're writing to sell, some stuff we're writing for Totally Lost, some we're writing for personal projects. So that's taken up a lot of my time. I've got a few acts that I work with. Most of them are related to Paul, but we've got some recordings coming up in that regard that I don't want to talk too much about yet. Um, there's some projects that I'm wanting to plan out in the future with a essentially it would be a rescue CD where a bunch of different bands would get together. I would do the mixing and whatever needs to be done. People who have their own studios could record their own tracks and send them to me, but essentially make an album of tracks from all these different artists. Everybody would have access to the songs. Everybody would sell them. You make your, or the artists would have the proceeds go towards rescue. So then that
And
way
for those who
we
don't
can
know,
all
I guess
collaborate.
rescue's like an insurance thing for performers and things like
Mhm.
us that don't always have that opportunity. We're basically a bunch of self-employed people, so
Yep.
yeah, which I think is
So
great.
yeah, so I've got some side project ideas. I'm always looking to collaborate with people and co-write. And then when I have time to do sessions, and if people want to do consultations, or if people want to use a studio, or if they want me to mix their stuff, I'm kind of all over the place. But I've also been focusing on resting and taking care of myself because I've had a few people move in, and we're getting all settled and moving some stuff around. So been trying to have some calm for this season, moving into fall and getting ready for the big run. So,
So let's say somebody was out there, like I noticed,
mhm,
and I wanted to at least throw a shout out to Kristen because she's online commenting. Hi, Kristen. Uh, she used to be with a group called Broadside Beauties, and she helps out all the
mhm,
time with festival stuff. So let's say a group
mhm,
like hers wanted to record some music or something. And I know it's not always easy for people to do that or get advice. They can
mhm,
contact, let's say you, or contact your studio,
mhm.
which, damn it, I didn't write it down. Studio was
Momentum Media. Momentum
Momentum.
Media. Yeah.
Um,
Uh, Go ahead.
oh, I was going to say, because you guys, the way I understood it, and I don't want to speak out of turn, you
No,
guys
go
have
for it.
been working with a lot of Ren Fair groups to help them get their albums out and stuff. They wouldn't normally have
Yeah.
access to the studio.
So that's the goal. I haven't had the opportunity to work with too many groups yet. There's certain individuals that I'm wanting to work with, and I'm trying to figure out some different plans. But essentially, I'm wanting to figure out some sort of like by Rennies for Rennies uh, recording label, not like in the sense of you don't pay things up front, but we can figure out some sort of payment plan. I've got to work on the details for that. But if anybody wants help with recording, or another option too is like if they've got access to a studio that's closer to them, but they want somebody to mix and master it, they can just have it recorded on their area, and I can do what I can to just make it as studio ready as possible too. So they don't even have to record here. They can record someplace else and then send me the tracks, and I can mix it and send it back to them. So it can all be digital.
That's awesome.
So
And are you're
yeah.
using the studio for just any recording? Then you're
Mhm.
right now your goal is full time. If I can get into music full time and make this a deal.
My ultimate goal is to be a content creator. I want to do so like my nerdgasm is essentially analog gear. I love messing with recording analog gear, and anybody who's watching, you don't need the stuff. I just like pushing buttons physically and twisting physical knobs. It helps my brain. It tickles
It's a kink.
everything that I need, basically. But no, so I love messing with that stuff, and so yeah, I got distracted when you said kink.
No, that's all right.
I'm like,
That's all
ooh.
right. I'm glad that my voice saying kink got you. Just that's all I needed.
It always has. It always has, Beard.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Damn it, man! I forgot my next question. Uh,
Something
so
about recording stuff. Oh yeah, I want to do the full-time content. I want to make YouTube videos. I want to educate people about that. I want to tell people about the studio. I want to go from a perspective of like I don't know what I'm doing, but this is what it sounds like. This is how I got here. Because
well,
I mean that's how I learned is by watching YouTube.
that's one of the reasons I want to promote this because I know that there's other people out there that like when we
Mhm.
recorded in a studio once and that was great and it was a local thing. But the idea
Mhm.
of being able to go to people that are like-minded and do similar things to what you do, it really does
Exactly.
help in a long run for sure. Uh,
Yeah.
if so, with all the stuff you're doing, if somebody wanted to
Mhm.
find out about what you're doing, like wanted to, like I know you have Facebook for your studio, you have Facebook for
Mhm.
you and Totally Lost as
I
well.
just I
Okay,
just put that link into the chat, so
okay.
the Momentum Media
Awesome.
is in the chat. Go ahead.
Awesome.
Sorry.
If somebody wanted to get a hold of you or contact you or find out more
Mhm.
about what you're doing, or even more importantly, upcoming events, how would they go about doing that?
When it comes to Totally Lost stuff, obviously the Totally Lost page. Nikki is great at making sure everybody's up to date. When it comes to personal stuff, if you've got me on Facebook and we're friends there, that's awesome. I've got an Instagram that I'm not gonna lie, I'm not the best at it, but I try to when I post a Facebook post to the Instagram, and the Instagram's a lot more public. I'll just let anybody follow me and whatever. And then when it comes to studio stuff and Momentum Media, you can message me there. It's got my work contact information, and yeah, I'm just glad to make music, and I want to help others do it too.
Well, see, and
Most
that's
excellent.
like I said, that's one of the reasons I want to have you on because not only you out there doing stuff and making it happen, you and like having Jake on earlier, you guys are just easy to talk to. It's a lot easier for us,
We
and we
try, we
appreciate
try.
it. It's something we normally do during the show because we've definitely changed the format of this show from what it used to be. We usually
Hmm.
start off with a geekasm, something weird that would happen to us through the week, something that got us excited in our ventures.
Something that made our geek organ throb.
Yeah, and it can be
Oh,
something
Hold
okay.
easy.
on.
I went and
We're
watched
back to the Hawk Tui girl. Sorry
yeah,
about that. Uh,
yeah, I watched the new Deadpool trailer or whatever. Uh, to give you an example, I will share mine real quick. For those listening to the podcast, you won't see this, but Chris went out to the East Coast this weekend and he hit breweries out there. So he brought back all this beer for us to
Ooh.
do on New Brew Thursday,
Ooh.
all from Lost Colony. Nobody's going to see this on the podcast. Lot of pirate.
Lost Colony? Is it
Lost
anything
Colony.
near Roanoke?
It is from, let's see, Malteo, North Carolina, is what this
Oh,
brewery.
no.
And
If
Mikey
you know your
Mason.
American history, the Lost Colony of Roanoke,
I
Virginia,
know,
but go ahead.
Yeah, no, I know it. I know it. Yeah.
Roanoke.
Mikey Mason had suggested this brewery, and Mac went up there, hit the brewery, brought back a bunch of stuff for us to do a New Brew. So we are going to try this out on New Brew at some point soon. Which, and again, mentioning Mikey Mason, Brent, that's somebody I would love to get you guys hooked up with. I think you.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. Mikey's great.
I know we got him hooked up with Clearly Guilty years ago, and they have had a
Mhm.
pretty good relationship.
I was going to say, doesn't he hold that against you?
He sometimes
That holds a lot of things, John.
I was this close to getting to work with Clearly Guilty. It just didn't work out schedule wise. I'm so excited. I hope that I get to record them next time.
Oh yeah,
But our schedule was out for the same time, and we just couldn't. But
we
so
used to
lovely
do it
people.
all
I
the
love
time.
them.
Just, I don't see them
Oh,
anymore. Now they're on different circuits and stuff.
come to Central Mo. Come to Central
Wanted
Mo.
to. We got invited to Castle Muskogee this year.
Oh,
We got kind of one of those half-ass invites to Central Mo. We'll see. Uh, but it. I'm in that same boat you are, where I've been slowing down a little. Like I haven't applied for a festival in over a year. I just whatever comes across our table. If it's good, I'll do it. And it's not that I'm not ambitious. I just after doing it for a while, you start looking at like I got to do some different things and
yep.
that's one reason like Ash brought the podcast back because then I like sitting around just talking with my friends and geeking out and having a
Mhm.
beer. And even if it doesn't go anywhere, it's a lot of fun compared
Yeah.
to sometimes hopping in a car, driving 9 hours to an event where you're going to sweat your balls off, and come to find out they didn't even have chairs in your audience or something,
Yeah.
and that stuff gets a little rough
Yep.
after a
If
while.
you want to have some aftermarket conversations, I'm down. But
Oh, dude, man, oh yeah, I could tell you bitching, but
oh man,
I do like bitching about festivals that are still going on. We'll say.
Yeah.
Uh, but for the most part, if there's a fair we don't like, we just stop doing it. I mean,
yeah,
so I don't bitch. So guys, if I'm still doing your festival, we love you, and
100%.
especially because we want you to still pay us. So
And on the contrary, if you want us at your fair, please, 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 please tell your local fair. It helps us out
yeah,
so much.
definitely. I've been hoping to get totally lost down here to Wichita for a while, and what ended up happening was I was talking to Richard and stuff, and sometimes he'll come to me and say, "Who would you suggest?" And I was like, "Well, this group, this group, this group," because we used to have 3 pints and all those guys, and I talked to the smoker crew, and we had smoker money, and it's like, dude, we'll pay for it if we can get totally lost here. And Rich is like, I'll pay half, we pay half, so that's how we're getting you guys here this fall, because basically performers chipped in just to get you here. That's how it ended up working out.
Mhm.
So hopefully
Insane.
it does well enough that we can get you guys to keep coming back.
Yeah.
But even if it doesn't, just getting you down here once. I mean, that's happened a couple times with groups where we get them down here once, and then we get to play, and
Mhm.
then a couple years later they get to come back and we get to play. So
Yeah. Well, and the
we'll
cool
go.
thing is like my schedule's opened up a lot more now, and like if there's a time when you just want me to come visit and do whatever, like I can. That's more of a
Don't tempt
possibility now
that shit,
too.
man. When
Huh?
when I said don't tempt that shit, when we have free time, we're all about that.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Intent,
if
wink,
I can make
wink.
it happen, I'd love to. I'd love to.
Yeah, definitely. Fuck. Wait, I'm really looking at heading back up that way before too long. My wife
Hmm.
wants Jake to do a tattoo, and
Hmm.
honestly, coming down to the Pirate Fest this spring, I had not been in the St. Louis area in a couple years, and
Hmm.
seeing all my friends there and seeing everything, it was like I was there yesterday. It's like, man, I got to come
Right.
back. And like I used to love going to the City Museum, getting my White Castle, all that shit. And
I
so,
don't know.
Hmm.
I love White Castle,
Here's the
but
thing.
stuck on a pizza down there in St. Louis now. But that was
oh,
If you come
fire.
out to this area,
Yeah.
if you come out to this area, you gotta come to my neck of the woods. I live in a small suburban town called Washington, Missouri. You need to get some Dairy Delight. They have gooey cheese for their burgers. It is the best burger you will ever have.
don't say
Gooey
it to a bunch of
cheese.
lactate intolerant old men. Come on, man.
Oh, that's you. That's right. You're
That's me.
lactose
It's
intolerant now.
just me.
It's okay. Their burgers are still really good, even without
No,
the gooey cheese.
no, we had a good time going down there. We hit the Steamworks Brewery while we were down there, and
Oh yeah.
we all the food was good. Everybody was awesome. It just made us go like, fuck, we're only here for 2 days.
Yeah.
We got to get back.
Yeah.
So, matter of fact, we've even talked to a couple event bases down there about, oh, well, we should come back do a show, because that always you can do that stuff to help pay for a trip. So,
Oh yeah.
so I did my Geekgasm. Did anybody else have one they wanted to share? Anything cool geek to them this week?
Let me see. Me this week I was able to pick up because I play GURPS. That's my gaming system of choice, and I was able to pick up GURPS Prime Directive, which is their take on the Star Trek. So I
Oh my
can
God,
start doing
Star
some
Trek
RPG
and
and
GURPS.
If I would have
yeah.
saw that
Yeah.
now, I would have thought there was no way you did not already own that. That looks.
Well, I had it, illegally in PDF form, but now I have the real one.
Yeah, it's you gotta have the physical copy to show off. I get it.
Daryl talks about
Well,
illegal
that's
shit he does. He's got an illegal PDF. I can't bring my illegal shit up on screen because it's incriminating. I might go to jail.
We
Allegedly.
did a show about a month ago at an Air Force base where he's just like, yeah, just write me out. I'm not. Don't even put me on the contract. If I show up, the military police will be there in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So.
What was that with Rusty in Iowa?
Oh,
he can't even go back to that state.
We were doing.
He can't go back to New York. Where the fuck is it? He can't go back to.
No, this was 20 years ago. We were first year at Riversance. We're on our way to Riversance, and as we're going, he's asking how close the festival is to the border. And I said it's right on the border, like the river's right there. So if you jump in the river and go across, you would be in another state. And he's like, "Oh, thank God." I'm like, why thank God? He goes, well, technically, I'm not legally allowed in the state of Iowa.
Yeah, that's right.
And I was like, this would have been a real nice thing to know before we headed to Iowa. And long story, but he had gotten in a whole bunch of trouble in Iowa. And if he gets in trouble again, they pretty much just bring up all these old charges, and he's stuck there for life. And so the whole festival, and that's the festival where he got like really high and drunk. And
is that the one? He got?
No, that's not the one. That was St. Louis. But then, in about 3 months later, we get invited to a show in Canada, and they were going to fly us there. And I got so excited. I'm like, they're going to fly us to Canada. And Rusty goes, "Oh, I'm not allowed in Canada."
Yeah.
I'm like, how do you get kicked out of a whole fucking country?
It has something to do with Niagara Falls.
Oh my gosh.
It was he was going across the border. They said, "You got anything to declare?" And he goes, "I got a pocket knife in my glove box." And his pocket knife was a ½ inch over the legal limit, but because he was cocky about it, they just put him on a list, and he's not allowed back. So, so we missed out on a Canada show because he had gotten kicked out of Canada. But
I'm sure it was actually for fisticuffs with a moose.
Yeah, that's the truth.
if you got rid of the cuffs and just said fisting a moose, I might believe that.
No, that's only if it's Bill.
If Bill has pictures.
Yeah, I don't know what their record of verses was, but it was like, I want to say like 25 verses or something stupid.
They were telling me
recently.
It was just recently, like last year, and I got to give Jeremy credit here because he's super good on the improv and writing.
Oh, yes,
and
yes.
I know that they were doing a bit where it was like for the Moose song, if you gave them $5 or something, they would make a verse or sing another verse for you. And people were bringing up like 50s and shit and just dropping them in. So they were having to make up verses. And I want to say it was like at least 25 verses they made up for that song after doing their regular verses. If I'm correct, I might be wrong.
Something like that. Yeah, it was insane from what I heard.
But I've also seen that
Hats off to them.
Where
no, most definitely.
I've done shows with Jeremy, and like we'll be at the hotel talking about, hey, wouldn't it be cool if we did a song about, I don't know, fisting a moose or something? And maybe we could do that at the Smoker. And by the time we leave the hotel and we get to morning meeting, he had a song written. He was like that. He was quick and like that Halls of the Death Star song he had. One night he goes, "Okay, we're going to write a song." He came over. He goes, "What should it be about?" And I said, "Star Wars." And by the time I thought of anything to write, he had the first verse done. He wrote that whole song in like 20 minutes, done, ready to roll, ready to record.
Rock on.
Talented dude.
So, Brent,
absolutely.
Did you have any geekgasms this week?
So I haven't received this geekgasm yet, but I've been researching these. That's the point. It's nerdy. It's geeky. It's
Damn
called
straight.
Triad. It's called Triad Orbit. It's this mic stand system where you know how if you're using like air powered tools, you like pull the one side back and then you pull the air thing out when you're using. I'm not a manly man, oddly enough. But essentially. Yeah, the quick releases. So it's essentially a bunch of those, and it's a whole ecosystem where it's a bunch of quick releases. So you can already have them on your mics or on your lights or on your cameras, and you can like screw things into the walls, and then they've got like these ball joints so that like you can have any actual angle you want in a 360 space. I'm gonna upgrade both of my stands so like you can take your old school mic stands and you can spend I think like $20 and get it optimized for their system, and then you just whatever you want to put on, you just boop, boop, boop,
Now,
boop, boop, and it's just
is
easy.
is that only XLR, or they also do like quarter inch or
Oh
USB?
no. Oh no, this is just the stands. This isn't the cables. This is
Oh, this is
just
the stands.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So like you can get boom arms and you can get all this different stuff. You can it's wild. It's hard to describe because it's a whole ecosystem, but mostly for me right now it's quick changing microphones so my ADHD
Hmm.
gets happy and I can record the good things before the happy chemicals go away.
Well, shit, I might have to
Oh,
look at that because that's the first thing I thought was
Yeah,
just
I'll
like,
show
well,
you links.
XLR cables just plug right in like that kind of. So but yeah, I'd have to see it.
speaking of ADHD, I had a whole thing on the science front. I normally, if we're at a loss for stuff to talk about, I always every week, pull out all the geeky and nerdy tech news and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And I had one for ADHD as well. But we are already 10
Yeah,
minutes over an hour.
yeah.
Oh, holy crap.
I know. See, that's what
Yeah.
it is when we have friends on it. It's like, oh, we can just talk and ramble because I'll always have notes too, like, oh, we need to talk about the new Deadpool, whatever, or some shit. And it's like tonight,
Yeah.
no, it's better to
Damn.
what we could talk geeky shit all day long. Come on again
Oh
some
yeah.
other time and we'll just talk geeky shit. We
Oh
won't talk about you. So it's
yeah, I'd love that. I'd love that. I felt like an asshole because I wore a totally lost merch.
no,
My partner was sleeping. I walked into the room, grabbed the first shirt. It was this one. I was like, well, whatever. It's on brand.
no, I would rather that. Matter of fact, right before the show, I was wearing my Flash Gordon hat, and I thought, well, as long as we're doing this, I went and got my Crazy Boy Coy hat. It's like, promote a friend,
Yeah.
or do something,
See,
you know.
I wish I
I'm
would have promoted a
horrible.
friend.
I didn't even realize until we started recording that I'm still wearing my high vis work shirt from today, having to fly drones. So I'm here in my actual work shirt, and you guys are all tricked out in the cool stuff.
Well,
Bummer.
that's because see now that Brent is doing this for a living and I do it for a living, that's what the cool people do. Daryl, if you would just cut your income to about a third and learn to live,
Oh yeah,
you could do this
Yeah.
too.
Yeah,
oh yeah, yeah.
it's
That
definitely the
I
smart
could.
move. Huzzah, dude.
Yeah. Let's just live on the profits from the winery. That's what
Yeah,
we
yeah.
should do.
Let's. Nothing else. We'll always have something to drink. All right. So
Yeah, well, he's got that. Which,
Yeah.
speaking of that, in order to satisfy the requirements of the winery paying for this program that we're using, we're going to be transferring from primaries to secondaries this weekend, and so that mead we're going to have close to 90 gallons getting ready into the secondary, and a month after that they will be ready to bottle.
and not only
So
that,
things are moving on.
we'll be adding a brand new vat to the facility this
Yes, I'm
weekend,
picking it up on Friday.
and we're going to be hopefully taste testing. I'm gonna be taste testing the blueberry lemonade stuff they did this weekend, so we'll see how that comes out. So by next
Lavender lemonade, not
La-
blueberry.
blueberry lavender,
Lavender lemonade. He's
yeah,
right. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, lavender lemonade, which didn't come out super blue, but so
Oh, did you guys go in and look?
yeah,
Did
we
you
went.
get hydrometer readings?
I don't know how to do the damn readings. I'm going
Okay,
off.
never mind.
I know
Never
how you
mind.
do it. You
All
call
right.
Daryl and he checks his app on his phone and he tells
No,
you.
this is just side stuff because it's not stuff that we're legal to sell yet. It is testing
yeah.
out new batches for new.
Yeah, those Bluetooth hydrometers I use in our main vats. Those are $130 a piece for those hydrometers. So we don't use them in the test batches.
Okay. So now we've mentioned our winery. I think we're tied
Okay,
up
that's
here.
out. Good.
So if
Yeah.
people want to learn more about Brent, what he's got going on, we'll have him on sometime. Just talk geek shit. We'll figure out what his geek
Yeah.
is, and we'll pick a subject and hit at it. I know we're
Yeah.
having some more people. I got some reenact. We're gonna do an episode on reenactors. I think we're gonna try to reach out to Chris and Alan maybe and try to get them on. Had we talked about that?
I had talked to them before, and they said that they were open to it. So we would just have to schedule it.
And for those that don't
And
know,
we also
when we talk
Go ahead.
about like passing the torch to generation, these are the people that pass the torch to us, kind of thing. These are like when you talk about people look at me and they go like, "Oh, you run all these cons and stuff in town. You're like a king of the geeks." It's like, no, king of the geeks is the guy who was king of the Ren Fair for 20 years before
Yeah.
I showed up. I mean, these are the guys. These are the
they
people
were
that are
king of the
still out
Ren
there.
Fair.
Yeah,
They were heads of the Star Trek. They're in the 501st. They do a chivalry thing. They do I mean, and they're still going hard on all this stuff.
Yeah.
And they're
and
absolutely
they're
cool people. They're not assholes.
So,
oh yeah,
so we'll be
they're
having
very
some
nice.
more folks like that on here for too long, and then we'll start doing the live shows at the Borough once a month again.
I wanted to bring that
let
up.
you guys know as that's happening, and as we're getting reorganized on that stuff. Brent, if they want to catch you, of course, social media, we'll post up some links. And your guys' next show is this weekend at the it's the Viking
Four
Brewery.
Brothers Mead and Festus.
Four Brothers Mead. Damn it!
Whoa!
You know what? They do shows there a lot. I see it all the time.
They're for Mother something, but I don't know. Okay.
Yeah.
with Three Pines Gone, and then of course, for those that watch us and follow us, they'll be at Big River Steampunk Festival this year and at Great Plains Fall in September. So those are the 2 times we're going to get to see them. Come down, check that stuff out, buy merch, pimp all that stuff. Brent, thanks for coming on, man. Hugs and kisses. It was
Thanks
good
for having me.
You
Much
know,
love.
Brent, when we hang up, when we sign off here, hang on. Afterwards, we just need to make sure that everything uploads.
I was just
good.
looking as we're cutting off. Of course, those listening to the podcast will never see this. This is a bearded mess. Like all 4, we're like the real surreal life going on. Is what this is.
The funny thing is,
like we go ahead.
This whole time, I've not been able to see Beard or Cookie.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no!
Yeah, this whole time.
So he
watch as soon as we shut down, he's going to populate. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But anyways,
so,
much love. Never give up. Keep it going.
All right, everybody. We will take her easy. We'll catch you next week.
Hugs and kisses.
Saw dudes.
All right.